What if I told you that by the end of this video, you'll have a fully working website built with AI and you won't pay a single dollar? No hosting fees, no previous web development experience required. In part one of this three-part video series, I'm going to show you exactly how to ideate, plan, and build a website from scratch using Replit, an online development environment. And yes, by the end, you'll have a website that you can share with anyone. Let's get to it. At this particular point, I've already spent a lot of time working with AI to be able to peer review and create this strategic document. As you can see from the table of contents, this document outlines the entire purpose of this website. It covers things like the business context. Why is it that we even want to build this website to begin with? It provides information around the site architecture overview, things like how to structure the pages and what each page's purpose is supposed to be. Then it covers things like target audiences and curated messaging so that it really lands home to whoever it is that you're intending this website to be used by. It also covers page-by-page requirements that go a little more specific into the actual content that's supposed to be in each website, including things like the structure, wording, the messaging, use of images as well. Don't default by writing this out entirely on your own. Use AI to help you generate this. But at the end of the day, you are the owner, you are the strategist. Be sure that you're able to articulate your vision to the AI. And then this other document is also just as important. Once I had that strategic document, I used AI to tell it, help me come up with a document that can break down the various prompts that we then need to provide to an AI so that that AI can take our vision and our strategy and be able to actually execute it. And that is exactly what I end up doing with Replit.com. As you can see, all I did here was provide all of those AI prompts into the text box here, and I uploaded the strategic file that we had earlier to this form. I then went ahead and submitted this to Replit AI. Now this part here, I sped it up because it did take approximately 10 to 15 minutes for it to finish. But what you see here on the left is everything that the AI is doing, and it does allow you to interact with it, which is quite nice. At some point, you'll start seeing breadcrumbs, which are icons to the left of working that show you everything that the AI is doing. Later on, I'll go ahead and click on the working area, and it'll actually bring that up in much more detail. But let me first start at the very top tab here. These tabs allow you to interact with the AI and the various tools available at Replit. So I just showed you the database there. By clicking on the new tab, you can see all of the various different features that are available in Replit, such as publishing, integrations, authentication, secret management, being able to use things like Git and Playground, and many other features. So it is quite nice to have all of this already integrated online. And in particular with the database, this is an important tip here. If you require persisting information, such as potentially receiving requests from your users and having that persist somewhere, you're not going to be able to use the free tier of Replit because that's going to require a server and a database, which will end up costing you one of those paid subscriptions, which the least expensive one is about $20 a month. But that's why you see this database here. The contact messages is precisely that. My first iteration of this, when I was building out the website, required me to persist any contact message that my users put in. But later on, I ended up removing that because I didn't need it and I could just simply rely on email communication. Okay, we can now see here on the left, it's still working, but let me go ahead and click the area. And you can see here the breadcrumbs of every single thing that the AI has done. If you're not technical, this is probably going to feel overwhelming and don't worry too much about it. But if you are technical, this is great because it's going to allow you the ability to click on any file that the AI created and or edit it along the way and be able to bring it up and analyze it. All right, it looks like now the AI has finished, so it's outputting a summary of everything it's done. And you can see here, it does tell me that it built out the front end and the back end. Like I mentioned earlier, in the future, I removed the back end entirely because I didn't want to pay for it and it wasn't really required for what I wanted to accomplish. And that's the value of that strategy document, because if you just gave it a very open-ended prompt, it's going to give you very open-ended results and it may not be what you want. So when working with AI, the more refined, specific, and clear you're able to provide to the AI, the better your outcome's going to be and the better experience you're going to end up having. And then we go on the preview tab and we can actually start taking a look at the website. And this is great, and I really like this because it allows us to, in real time, find if we want to make any changes and go straight to the AI and articulate what those changes are going to be. This looks really good for the very first pass, and something that really just took me 1 hour of planning at tops, and then being able to wait 10 minutes for it to be able to produce all of this. And at the very top here, it shows you on the free usage how much more of the AI you can use. Of course, if you run out of free credits, you can still do things manually, but that is the limitation unless you decide to pay for it. Now, one of the things I do want to show here is, because I do have some more units available, I want to go ahead and change my logo. So anytime you upload images or files like you see me doing here, Replit is going to persist that in the code base as well. And in this particular case, I want to update the logo to the one you see here, and I'm just going to prompt the AI to do that here. And in particular, I want to tell it that I needs to do that in both the header as well as the footer. And this is just one example of the many changes I ended up doing during this early iteration. There were other things entirely, like removing the entire database and updating the contact us page. So that instead of asking the users to submit a form to contact us, we would just simply provide them our email so that they can reach out to us. But you can see here, it's not always perfect. In this particular case, once the AI updated the logo, they got rid of the AG squared text. I still wanted that to be there, so I went ahead and told the AI to please re-add that back in. Now, this is not what I would call the best use of our AI credits. Something as simple like that, I'll show you here shortly how you can make simple changes like that by opening up the actual file itself and making those tweaks yourself. Of course, that does require you being a little more comfortable in changing the HTML, and if you're not technical, that might be a little bit of a learning curve, but if you're already paying for the AI credits, not to worry. If you want to stick to the free ones, it might be a skill worth refining, or using free AI tools like Google Gemini to ask for guidance on what changes you need to do. And Google Gemini is entirely free to use for basic things like that. And that's exactly what I'm going to show here. So if you were able to go over to the Git tab like you see here, and identify that one particular file that you want, you'll be able to see the change that the AI did. And this is effectively the same change you could do yourself if you didn't have the AI or if you ran out of AI credits. And again, what's nice about this is there's nothing sensitive here. If you're building this website, you don't have any proprietary IP. So a lot of this, you can simply ask something like Google Gemini, hey, help me identify what changes I need to make to be able to make them without using Replit AI credits. The publishing step here walks you through all of the things you need to adjust. Be sure to keep this as a static page so that you might be able to use this for free. And everything else you can basically keep as the default value. And in order to go ahead and publish, all you got to do is click this publish button. It really is neat that it's as simple as that. In other alternative solutions, you have to compile the code, create something that's called a package or an artifact, and then be able to serve that up to somewhere else. Here, as you just saw, it's pretty quick. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes for it to go through the entire process. But now our domain is live and accessible. The problem though is that it is a static domain. You can't change it unless you are willing to pay $20 a month. And I personally find that that's a little too expensive and not worth the bang for a buck. This is the last example where I asked the AI that I wanted to delete it, but it told me, hey, you're out of free credits and it's time to buy more. Or you can wait a certain amount of time because it does reset every 24 hours in order to be able to continue using the AI. And you can see here the various tiers that are available to you. If you really do want to try using Replit for more, I definitely encourage the Replit core to get started with it. But I was able to accomplish what I wanted just using the starter free tier. All right, folks, at this point, you now have a live functioning website hosted entirely for free on Replit. But don't click away just yet, because in part 2, I'm going to show you how to take this exact website, keep all the code we just built, and move it onto your own custom domain using Google Cloud Storage, again, without paying for any hosting. If anything in this video went a little too fast, pause right now and rewind, because every step we just did carries directly into the next part. Before we head to part 2, please be sure to like this video because it really helps the series reach more people, and share it with anyone who might benefit in learning this. And lastly, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future tech-related how-to videos. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and watch part 2. I'll see you there.